Welcome back to the Two Man Advantage podcast. We'd like to thank Community Living Windsor for allowing us to do our podcast in their boardroom this week, Boardroom B, if you guys are wondering.
You want to stop by?
Yeah. So we appreciate that. We do a lot of stuff. Kevin McShan, part of the 2MA crew, he does a lot of stuff at Community Living Windsor, so we wanted to make sure we tossed that out and said thank you to them. Also, we'd like to thank Rocket Chips, Life is Stray, and Motor City Head Rush for all the music today on the 2MA podcast. And without making you wait any longer, we're going to get right to our rants. Kevin?
Okay, my rant this week is about our favorite new gift of football, Johnny Manziel. He's not even going to start, and he's got the #1 selling jersey of all rookies this year. He is an undersized quarterback that can't see over the line of scrimmage unless you develop an offense for him that is specialized. He will have no success in the NFL because at Texas A&M, his play calls were like 2 words. In the NFL, they'll be like 8, 9, or 10. And his actual level of talent, like physical talent and not improvising talent, is not that high. And I'm just sick of every time you turn on training camp coverage, they start with Berea, Ohio, every time, just because. And I get it, because the city of Cleveland hasn't had a reason for people to cover their training camp in a long time. And
God does hate Cleveland.
I get that Johnny Manziel is a marketing machine, and if they weren't going to capitalize on that, that's kind of dumb. But I'm just sick of the whole train. He's not even going to start, and they're already promoting him as if he was God's gift to the rest of the world, and he's just nothing.
Starting, baby.
And the train is coming, and it's already left this station, and it's barreling down the tracks. Just suit up and deal with it, I guess. But it is kind of annoying to
think
listen
you, me,
to it.
everybody in this room, and every single football fan out there that is not in Cleveland hates it. Tired of seeing it.
It's Tim Tebow, the sequel.
Yeah.
But
without God.
It's going to happen every year. He's a high profile. He was the first freshman ever to win the Heisman Trophy.
And one more thing. If he says, I'm 21 again and I like to go out and have fun one more time, he starts every time they ask him about his off-the-field activity, that's the first sentence.
But you know what? You're also a quarterback in the NFL, and you need to play that role and not be. Everyone obviously saw the picture of him floating around Twitter that looked like he was in a bathroom rolling up a.
Kyle.
Couldn't agree with you more, Kev. But I heard a little. They just inducted this year's crop of players in the MLB Hall of Fame. Tony La Russa being the former manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, he was one of them, and he had a little comment before the ceremony that was sort of hinting that anyone who played in the steroid era and is also elected to the Hall of Fame should have an asterisk beside their name. Now, this guy's getting inducted with Frank Thomas. This comment was not directed towards Frank Thomas, but it was directed to his group, his era of baseball. And, was there not a guy on one of his teams who may have been convicted of the whole steroid thing? What was his name? There was like a big race or something back in 98? Mark something?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, Tobey Maguire? No, Mark Maguire.
I
Mark
like Tobey
Maguire.
better. We'll go with that one.
Yeah, well, at least the one guy's Spider-Man.
He's Toby today.
At least, but Mark Maguire made this guy so famous, and so he definitely benefited from having Maguire on his team.
110%.
And then you come out and say that everyone in that era deserves an asterisk next to their name. Who played, not who coached. I think it's a one-way street. It can't be a two-way. If everyone in that era deserves an asterisk next to their name, so be it. But it can't just be the players. It has to be the coaches involved. And at the same time, you know what? The union with Donald Fear and everybody, the union did this to themselves. MLB did this to themselves. I personally think it's a good thing that steroids are being taken out of baseball. Obviously, it's cheating.
There's always going to be something.
But when everyone is doing it, you can't persecute only the ones who are the best at doing it. I guarantee there's a handful of guys who will not go to the Hall of Fame. Mickey Tettleton. He was my favorite player growing up. He will. Newsflash: he ain't going to the Hall of Fame.
Really?
But he's not going to be convicted of. He's not going to need an asterisk next to his weirdest batting stance ever in the Hall of in any sort of. There's not going to be an asterisk there. So anyone who is good enough to play at the top of their levels during the steroid era, La Russa is pretty much saying they deserve an asterisk. I think all asterisks should be thrown aside. Barry Bonds, yes, he does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Did he do steroids? Yes. Did he lie? Yes. Everyone did.
This is my question, though. If those guys deserve to be in, does Pete Rose deserve to be in?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the biggest crock of crap I've ever heard in my life.
Darrin DeCarlo, you ready to top that? Yeah. And by the way, I think that the dryer is done and the towels are warm because Tony La Russa just wiped his hands of all the baloney that the steroids brought to baseball. Carry on.
All right. Yeah, that was an excellent rant there, Kyle. But I'm gonna switch over back to football, and if you haven't been following the news about Baltimore Ravens running back Ray Rice, who was
that guy there,
who was suspended for 2 games, yes, who was suspended for 2 games for the upcoming NFL season in 2014. There's 2 games, pretty much the same suspension that Ndamukong Suh got for stomping on the arm of
a full-grown male athlete. Yes.
Yeah. But if you're not familiar with what Ray Rice did, he pretty much physically beat up his wife and then dragged her unconscious body through the elevator.
On camera.
On camera. It was all caught on camera. So, and that's part of my rant. Is like how much pot smoking is more bad than an athlete beating up his own wife. And we get it, the NFL players, some of them are, come from bad past, grew up in a rough neighborhood, and they
stupid excuse.
I'm not saying that that's the reason why, but my big concern is that the Ravens opened up training camp yesterday, and there were about 25,000 plus fans, and they were cheering every time they showed Ray Rice on the jumbotron. It's like it's just crazy that how this monster, and that's what he was, a monster, beats up a defenseless woman, his own wife, and then he only gets a slap on the wrist. What kind of message does that send the rest of the NFL?
If you think about it,
the NFL players.
He was a couple heartbeats away from becoming O.J. Simpson.
Yeah,
but because she survived his vicious attack, he gets 2 games.
But Kyle, let me ask you something: is this what people have to do? Is this the only way to the NFL to take this stuff seriously? You have to kill someone before, or you have to be,
it was on video.
That's what
I understand. That
Roger Goodell's supposed to be the sheriff,
right?
And
he's the new sheriff
handing
in
out
town.
This lackluster suspension for the most egregious of actions.
Okay, so my turn. And I'm going to rant about the Detroit Tigers and how, God, I hope they're not finished adding pieces at the trade deadline.
Left-handed bat, no.
They go get Soria, okay? They don't trade a ton. They give away a couple prospects.
2 good prospects.
2 good prospects, yes, but they don't lose anybody off their roster. If you're trying to make a run now, you're going to have to give up some of the prospects that you have in your farm. They go get the arm. Now all of a sudden Nathan is striking at the side in the 9th. Strange how that works. And all of a sudden your offense can't hit. So B-Mart isn't hitting like he was earlier in the year, and he's been hurt. Miguel Cabrera's had issues with his power and his core. They're not hitting like they were. So since this team is so streaky, do they go out and get a bat? Do they go out and get Rollins? Do they go get another arm in the bullpen and Bastardo? Like, what does this team need? We thought they needed bullpen help. They go get bullpen help, and now their bullpen doesn't seem to be the issue.
Well,
is it week to week or
it's game to game?
Yeah, it's so frustrating as a Tigers fan, even as a baseball fan, because everybody knows the talent. of this Detroit Tigers team. The team probably should have won the World Series last year and didn't because their bullpen sucked. Their bullpen sucks this year, and now they can't hit.
It's the same old song and dance. Nothing's changed since.
When is it going to
2008.
change, though? That's
I don't think it's gonna.
Then they're
We
not.
changed our
they're-
manager.
They are never going to win a World Series.
No.
Every Tigers fan
I've
out
come
there
to
listening
terms.
right now, I'm dead serious. The window is closing fast, and if they don't fix this year, good luck. You're going to turn back at this season and this group of players over the last couple of seasons and be like, oh, yeah, Torrey Hunter, he was good. Victor Martinez, he was good. Miguel Cabrera, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer. Oh, yeah, those guys that didn't win a championship.
Hey, check this out. I'm looking into my crystal ball right now. I'm seeing winning the Central, winning the first round of the playoffs, and then egregiously losing to a team that you should have beaten.
The Oakland A's.
Oh my God! Well, it's the same old
They
song and
want it
dance.
bad.
Nothing has changed. The names on the back of the jerseys may have changed. The closer doesn't say Jones, doesn't say Rodney, doesn't say Valverde, but now it says Nathan.
Benoit.
He's the exact same guy.
That's it for this week's 2MA Rants. Check us out on 2MApodcast.com.